But we're going to see how this goes in game 2 of returN versus Kingdom.
So now I expect returN to do a little bit more traditionally, a little bit more of a traditional team composition. Not only does it hurt their pride a little bit to lose to the bottom seed in North America right now, but you want to secure that top seed. You want to make sure that if because if they lose this game and Eager gets the 2-0 up against Elevate later today, Eager's the first seed coming into LAN, and so you want to make sure that you're securing the best possible seeding for yourself and making sure that you're where you want to be. So returN, I expect, is going to take this game a little bit more seriously.
Do you think we're going to see any focus from Kingdom onto Transonics? Because Transonics has been absolute fire in this past couple of weeks. He's played 12 different gods throughout the entire split.
That's true.
And then
that's true. I could see them paying a little bit more attention, but Zachsy did such a great job last game, weathering the storm, sort of. I mean, Transonics was huge. He gets a triple kill or a double kill in one of the fights. They get a gold fury. All of a sudden, Transonics is 2 levels up.
Yeah.
But Zachsy still holds his own in that lane, plays it passively exactly like he should, and then comes in and makes just as big of an impact in the late game as Transonics was able to. So I think that the focus on the Clow in the early game did a lot for Kingdom. Not only did it shut Clow down, but because Clow is not doing well, it means that xCynosure's job is much harder as that nemesis. He's not able to do exactly what he wants to. The follow-up off Matt Koiz's Athena taunts wasn't there because Clow was usually getting chased down or already dead. So I liked the overall game plan from Kingdom, shutting down Clow on that immobile Vulcan.
And I mean, because they didn't have that frontline, Cloud needed all of those stacks on the Doom Orb, needed as much damage as possible so he could just evaporate people before they could take him out since they didn't have frontline. But lots of frontline coming out early on for returN with the Guan Yu.
And I expect that to go to Matt Koiz in the duo lane. It doesn't feel like a Wolves god to me. Koiz plays it extremely well. Even when he was a jungler in Season 2, he loved to play Guan Yu. But that leaves Terra open for Kingdom.
Yep, Terra. The name of the game is sustain. We're going to see 2 big sustain gods coming out for both teams. I'm going to pair that with a Chronos.
May as well give it back to Zachsy.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's the god Zachsy's known for, and he did really well on it last game. There's no reason to not pick it up here, as well as keeping it away from Transonics, who also has a very good Chronos.
Yeah, just any magical ADC in general, just don't. And the physical ones too, just don't.
Transonics is tough to play against because he's shown so far this split that he can play anything, including Habwa. I'll bet you that goes to him. I am very confident that that's going to Transonics.
You're going to make it number 13, buddy? I'm writing this down here just in case.
And then
with a question mark.
And then Robin in there for Wolves in that solo lane. So that is going to be Guan Yu support. Unless xCynosure wants to run in the jungle, I don't know if that's in his god pool. I've never seen it. He traditionally likes more assassin characters, basically only assassins is all he likes to play in the jungle, so I'd be kind of surprised if Cyno's willing to do it. But again, this is a time where you can try new stuff out for LAN. Get ready to prepare, see if it works with your team with Guan Yu in the jungle.
That's a Fenrir.
There it is.
You guys know I love my Fenrir, but Fenrir gonna get picked out for Kingdom eSports. Lots of jungling aggression, and plus the Fenrir into the Habwa. If Habwa tries to get away, even with that ultimate, the Brutalize is still going to stack. Or the Brutalize is still going to keep you there.
The Water Carpet's not going to help him. The Knockup isn't going to help him. The Ultimate's not going to help him. There's nowhere for him to go.
He's the direct counter to Habwa.
The only problem is if Transonics is able to get ahead, and if that is going to Transonics, which I still assume it is, Fenrir, he comes in 3 levels down to Transonics, tries to make a gank. Yeah, Habwa can't get away, but he's just going to turn around and kill you.
Yeah, just turn around and ult. That's the only downside to that, just the sheer amount of damage being pumped out.
It can definitely make for some awkward situations where you're like, all right, I got him. There's no way for him to get away.
Surprise, crap.
You get knocked up, water cannoned, and immediately hit with the ultimate for your entire life bar. And that's what Habwa does best.
But the last band's coming through. Soul Vulcan for returN and a Wheelish Freya for Kingdom. That Freya against Transonics, and no more Wheelish, please.
I like the Wheelish ban here because this time it definitely would have gone to xCynosurex in the jungle up against that Fenrir. Would have been a very, very strong counter pick. But banning away the Freya, returN must not be on the same thought process that I am. They must think that's going to Clow in the mid lane.
And see, we've seen Freya mid before, and it just hasn't worked. I don't think there was one game that Freya mid
Paul, I played against
struck
it.
me.
I played against it in the SCL once. Paul during the summer split.
That's all Paul plays.
It played Freya mid, and it did not work out. It did not work out very well. We won that game.
It was pretty good though. Ratatoskr being locked in for returN. And I like it against Fenrir just because that global pressure. Fenrir's gonna have to be on point even harder when it comes to the rest. When it comes to those rotations.
We got hi-rez here, guys. You want to come on and say hello?
No, I got the one for the flu shot.
Oh,
nice.
Flu shots
get
are
your
in
flu
there.
shots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's over there.
I got mine earlier. It was really nice.
If the server goes down, it's because that cord just got unplugged.
That was just checking in, seeing where he had to go. We were happy to point him in the right direction.
Oh, of course, of course. if we hear screaming, we know why.
There's
All right.
we're doing some good health stuff here at hi-rez today. I got my flu shot earlier. I'm feeling great because of it. I wasn't feeling great earlier, so that's why I was like, I really need to get this flu shot to make sure I don't get sick with all these lands coming up. We're going non-stop here at hi-rez from now until the end of November. We've got lands like all the time. It's the best time of year, except of course for hi-rez Expo.
All right, but before we get into the game, I do want to cover the rest of this. Zhong Koiiii picked up for return, more than likely into the mid lane, so that probably would be a Hubwa. And then last but not least, that was the Agni and the Tier. Going to go to yoyoabc.
So we'll see. Coviiii, I know, is a fan of playing this Agni in the mid lane on PC. We'll see how he's able to do it here on console. Of course, it's a little bit different for every god, going from keyboard and mouse to controller. Just a different sort of feel in general. Tier on Yo-Yo, this is a god that I know he likes very, very much, so no surprise to see him pick that up. And then, of course, Clow on Zhong Koiiii, two basically synonymous with each other.
And that is going to be number 13 coming out from Transonics, taking Hubwa into the ADC role. How do you feel about that? Because I don't see that at all.
It can work. It can work because the idea between putting someone like a Hubwa in the hunter role is that you just want to give him a ton of farm and then he gets to the late game and kills everyone for you, kind of like a Soul or a Chronos. But he's a lot more vulnerable than either of those gods. He has to get into the wave in order to clear it. So if Zachsy's able to poke him out, it makes his life a lot more difficult.
And I like the fact that both sustain gods are going to be the supports. McSaltyCakes not going to solo with that Terra. It's going to be here to help out Zachsy and Koiz, trying to keep Hubwa alive with the conviction.
I'm more of a fan of Terra in the duo lane. I just feel like the amount of CC she brings is so strong. I understand the thought process of putting her in solo. Having that global ultimate that can affect the team fight while you're farming up in the solo lane is very appealing. But at the end of the day, you want that heavy CC that Terra can bring in that duo lane to help put you ahead.
Right mid Harpy's going to be aggressed upon by return, also gaining the fire elemental. So Kingdom eSports going to take that back seat, instead take that left one.
And that's something that I didn't even think about, was playing Hubwa into Terra is going to be a nightmare for Transonics. Transonics should not be able to get out of this laning phase with the duo lane that Kingdom has drafted here. With that route that's easy to confirm into the stun, into the time rift, into the other stun from Chronos, there is no way for Transonics to get out of any of that. Kingdom should be extremely aggressive in this duo lane. There is no reason to let Transonics play where he wants to play, because if you do let him, he can become that late game monster as Hubwa that you don't want to be able to deal, because you can't deal with it. It's just too much damage. But with the composition they've drafted, they should be in a good spot to deal with that. Terra should be extremely aggressive in this duo lane.
If I were in chat, there'd be CC 4 days. I would type that and just spam it because there's so much against Transonics right now, especially on this Hubwa pick. But a little bit of early aggression coming out from Kingdom. I like how aggressive camping solo is on this Fenrir. It's a nice breather.
That's what you have to be as Fenrir, is be that aggressor. Now Coviii's going to be the aggressor as he dashes in. Cloud forces that purification, trying to heal up, but it's not going to be enough. Brutalize gets the first blood. xCynosurex picks up Coviiii on the back end, but overall that favors Kingdom.
Yep, that's going to be the trade-off, and start getting your Fenrir fed.
There it is. That's best case scenario for you. You love Fenrir, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, best case scenario too coming out for Kingdom eSports, because they did find that first kill. That's going to be the first blood. Even though they traded for it, that's still a little bit of a boon. And
you get the purification out of Cloud, which is really, really important. Surprised that we didn't see Coviiii use that Sanctuary. Probably could have saved his life and maybe would have let Cyno just barely get out. You saw the strength of Fenrir into this overall composition. We saw how much you were talking about how he could follow Hubwa. Well, he can also follow Ratatoskr very, very well.
So those dashes aren't going to mean as much if you're being aggressed on by the doggo, but instead going to go ahead and back off, going to be just fine, and instead, stalemate.
And it looks like Coviii's rushing into the Celestial Plate Helm, the more expensive one, the one that gives you 90 physical protection and 60 magical power, but I would have really preferred to see him go boots first. I like getting this item early. I understand that and really do agree with it overall, but getting it second item is totally fine. I think that foregoing that mobility that you really need on all mid laners, not only to rotate, but to keep yourself alive and be in the correct positioning, is far too strong to give up for that early protection. I would have really liked to see him pick up his boots first.
returN putting priority onto these smaller fire elementals, and we see there's just a dedicated, it's almost like, okay, it's 11 o'clock, it's time to go fire elementals, it's 11:30, time to go fire elementals, but Clow trying to bring out the bag, there's so much damage being pumped through, and camping solo not going to be able to get away, neither is Coviiii.
Sick return kill there. Excellent double knockup from xCynosurex. Clow was so low, but the ultimate gives him the protections that he needs to survive just long enough for Koiz to dash in and get the heal. Great return kill coming out of Clow there in the mid lane, along with xCynosurex.
So great return kill coming out from return.
It was a return kill. returN got the kill.
returN got the kill. Transonics, nice juke coming out. Not going to be hit by Zachsy, who is pumping out a ridiculous amount of damage, but at least Transonics is doing the same.
You can see that this is the weakness of the Hobwall lane clear, is that it's not easy to confirm. You have to put yourself in a bad spot to hit the entire wave, but Zachsy doesn't have to put himself in that position. That's what Chronos does very well, is clear the wave, and so he's able to do that from a distance to get some extra poke on a Trans.
So I didn't really see the Zhong pick up until we saw Shaliber join Soar. Now it's starting to spread. Why is that?
Clow's always played Zhong. Clow was playing Zhong before Shaliber ever picked up his controller. He's very, very comfortable on it. And
we just haven't seen it this split.
No, I don't think we've seen it quite as much this split, but he just loves the tankiness. Clow knows it too. Some of his biggest weaknesses are his positioning, and so you don't have to worry about that as much on Zhong.
Speaking of positioning, camping solo in position to try and camp out Transonics. He pushed forward a little bit. There it goes, and there goes the brutalized Zachsy. Gonna get credit for the kill, though.
And the purification comes out for Transonics. Now it looks like Cyno's gonna come on this right-hand side. Yo-Yo gonna get stunned out, knocked up. Wolves pounding on his face. xCynosurex gets the last hit.
Yep, that's going to be 4-2. A 2 for 1 trade. No, 1 for 1 trade. But still, 4-2. Read the kills return, doing a good job of keeping the slight lead. It's not near as dire as it was last game, but about 500 experience and almost 700 gold in favor of return.
And the good news is for Kingdom is that Zachsy has that Doom Orb online now. He's got the lead in that duo lane, and they should just continue to abuse Transonics. I want to see camping solo over there every single time, and now because Transonics doesn't have that purification, Ragnarok's going to be able to put him wherever he wants him to go, basically. Just hold him in the mouth while Zachsy is able to hit the autos.
But here comes the Ragnarok. Instead, Clow going to force that purification, so now Clow is also going to be a sitting duck, another god with no escape.
Camping Solo's had a great game thus far. We're only 5.5 minutes in, but he's been all over the map, forcing purification, getting kills, setting up for his teammates. Yes, it didn't work out in middle lane where it looked like they were going to be able to pick up a kill, but overall, a really, really good game from him, dictating the pace early, which is what you want to do as a jungler overall, yes, but especially on a god that has a great early game like Fenrir.
But I also like xCynosurex today. He's been the playmaker instead of being reactive, which I think is huge for return.
That's true. I mean, xCynosurex is massive right now. Camping solo has been making things happen around the map, but it hasn't been farming very well, whereas xCynosurex has been making things happen around the map, sitting 3-0-1, but has been farming extremely well. He's up 600 gold, up 2 levels on camping solo as well. So even though, yeah, you want him, hold that thought. It looks like Yo-Yo gonna be in some trouble, actually uses the Lawbringer in place instead of running away. Cyno picks up his 4th kill.
And we were just talking about him, speak of the devil. I mean, he comes in, he crashes down, he takes the life. Bada bing, bada boom. Another kill going for return. 5-2, and we're only 6 minutes and 41 seconds in.
And now Wolves is getting an even bigger lead in that solo lane, which is not what you want to happen. Again, up against return. You don't want to let Wolves get that. Oh, awkward interaction there. The Gold Fury actually takes down the Monolith and shuts down the sustain from McSaltyCakes. It's like the Titan. You can't put anything in its way or it'll knock it down.
But instead they're going to try to get aggressive onto xCynosurex. The purification going to be good, but the Ragnarok, as soon as that's down, Cloud going to take camping solo's life, and Kingdom eSports may have made a bit of a mistake.
Coviiii and camping solo just clearly not on the same page overall so far this game. Coviiii dashes in and gets himself in a little bit of trouble, but it doesn't even hit the target that's in Camping Solo's mouth. Instead, everyone just pounds on top of him, able to kill him before he can bring xCynosurex into the tower.
Yeah, just a little bit of a miscommunication. xCynosurex going to be stunned out when it comes to Terra charging through there, but going to back off. returN in a very nice position. They're forcing out all of Kingdom's buttons, and they're just putting pressure in all the right places.
Exactly, and it's all been around xCynosurex for me. 4-0 and 2 right now. Has extended that gold lead that we just talked about. It was 600 about a minute and 2 minutes ago or so, and now it's over 1,000, sitting at about 1,200 gold. He's making a huge difference. I mean, half of the gold lead is on him alone.
Yeah, no, he's getting a little fed. And that's not good, especially when you have that global presence. It doesn't even matter if your rotations aren't on point, because xCynosurex can pick himself up and go wherever he wants.
And he's been on the solo side a whole lot. You see the ward there from Yo-Yo, but he's still in a bit of an awkward position. Root coming out forces the ultimate, and now this blue buff is going to be looked at by returN. That pressure used in that duo lane to make it happen on the right side. However, Kingdom's looking at the Gold Fury.
Yep, they know xCynosurex on the right side. They're going to try and aggress onto the Gold Fury on the left, which is something you talked about last time, but McSaltyCakes.
Like, we got to learn sometime, dude. Clow coming in here, learning that they're doing the Gold Fury, going to try and contest it, but it goes the way of Kingdom. Now Cloud is trying to make something happen.
Maybe he's going to chase him down, find the stun, but not be able to find the kill. He's pumping out damage, but not enough yet. Instead, xCynosurex going to go to the solo side once again. They really want yoyoabc.
And now it probably looks, he's going to fall here. I think only one more hit needed. Yeah, Wolves gonna get the only last hit for him in the solo lane. That's the first time. I think he's been gotten a gank 3 times, and xCynosurex was able to secure the kill the other 2 times. But that time, Wolves gets on the kill board.
Aside from the obvious answer of herder more kills, why are we seeing this prioritization on yoyoabc?
Because Wolves is the hyper carry of returN, along with Transonics, and they identified that that's the easier lane to gank. I mean, Tyr gets bullied early. His lane clear isn't great in the early stages, whereas Ravana's is really, really solid, as well as Ravana's poke potential is really, really good as well. So it's Wolves able to get him low, and then it's an easy gank on that right-hand side. Plus, you expect there to be a little bit more help for Zachsy on the left. You know, Terra, Camping Solo's been over there a decent amount as well, coming over there once. So you expect there to be a little bit more help for Zachsy, whereas Yo-Yo's been kind of left on his own.
Transonics push forward. Camping Solo going to be able to come out once again. Going to miss the jump, however. Brutalize going to do numbers, but he's going to ultimate right back into Zachsy. He has no way to escape, and Zachsy going to get credit for the kill.
That's exactly what you were talking about. No way for Habwa to get away from Fenrir. Uses the ultimate, does about half of Camping Solo's health, but it doesn't matter. Going to fall there for his second death in the duo lane. Now sitting about 700 gold behind. Good job by Camping Solo coming over there again, but he probably should have been over there earlier, to be honest. Only 2 ganks at 10 minutes. Yes, it's good for Zachsy. Yeah, he's getting a lead, but he could have been even farther ahead because, like we mentioned, there's no way for Trans to get away.
Yeah, and he ulted because of the positioning. He ulted back towards Zachsy instead of ulting away, just because the Brutalize is right behind him. He could try to get away, but instead he wants to try and just melt down the HP, which didn't necessarily happen. Instead, returN going to melt down everything in the jungle, plus yoyoabc still getting boxed out heavily from Wolves.
This is what happens when you get a ton of ganks in the solo side. You just get way too big for the oppositional solo laner to handle you. Now up about 700 gold in 2 levels. Yo-Yo still hasn't gotten a second relic online. Wolves looking very strong right now.
And Zachsy, I feel like Zachsy is really the only saving grace right now for Kingdom eSports. He's level 14, 2-0 and 0. He's got that full orb stacked up. And he's gonna unleash soon.
I agree. Zachsy is the player to watch if you're rooting for Kingdom here. He's the reason that they're gonna be able to get back in this game if they are, as well as Coviiii. Coviiii sitting 2 levels down right now. He's got to do a better job of staying alive and finding that farm, but not going boots early hurts his farm potential. He doesn't have the rotation ability to go where he needs to be.
Tanky McSaltyCakes gonna take a lot of damage coming out from returN. Instead, will be forced to back off. Meanwhile, Transonics getting chunked by these auto attacks, trying to get away from Zachsy, but he's sticking to him like glue.
But Zachsy has to be careful. He's low enough that a water spout, here it comes the blink and a miss, forces the ultimate though, and now Zachsy's in an awkward position.
Yeah, but here comes xCynosurex jumping in with the ultimate through the Cosmos to try and help out. Now that they've stunted out Tier, it's time to get rid of Chronos.
It's about time that Terra's Blessing came out way too late for McSaltyCakes. Zachsy falls, Clow is able to clean him up, and that gives Clow his 3rd kill of the game, looking good in the mid lane.
Camping solo wanted to make something happen onto Wolves, still looking for the bite, instead gonna back off. 3-man stun coming out from Koiz as well. The Tidal Assault gonna do numbers, but so is Clow. Clow gonna find 3 in this entire engagement, and they're just gone.
Shout outs to Koiz there. Great job chasing him down. Huge stun under the tier 1 tower. Sets it up for his team. That's the support dream right there. You set up for your team. You get all 3 assists. And now you're able to heal them up as they siege down the tier 2 tower in middle.
What can they do? What can Kingdom do? At this point last game, a little bit later, we saw Kingdom really start to fight back, gain some momentum, but now it's 11-3. We're 13 minutes in, and I don't really see an end.
returN made a mistake last game with their positioning, going for the Gold Fury and then rotating over at the wrong time. Now Zachsy coming back to lane and is going to meet a whole gaggle of returN, forced to purify and run away. Unfortunate there. That's the worst feeling, because you're like, all right, I respawned, I'm ready to get back into the game and farm, make an impact. All right, never mind, I'll see you guys, I'm back in base. At least he didn't die, because that is the worst feeling, keeping those Doom Orb stacks up and healthy right now. But Kingdom just needs to let returN make another mistake. I mean, the lead last game was huge for returN. They came over to that Fire Giant side, and Kingdom was able to make a couple plays and just win the game off of that. They could, at this point, they just have to play around Zachsy and hope that returN makes another mistake. Camping
solo looking very low. Clow wants to take him out. xCynosurex going to be able to do that. However, camping solo down, and now we're starting to get to that point where the Fenrir isn't going to be as effective if he keeps getting shut out like this.
Exactly. Everyone's got 2 relics online for returN, and once you got the Sanctuary and the Purification, Fenrir starts to fall off in general. But sitting at level 12, 3 levels down for xCynosurex. We talked about it last game, how Transonics was really the only one doing a whole lot on the side of returN once Wolves lost that lead in the solo lane, and it was really up to Transonics alone, because Clow was getting picked off and xCynosurex was ineffective because of it. This time, it's been the mid-jungle synergy here for returN making the difference.
Did you see yoyoabc found the Fearless, and it did absolutely nothing to Wolves. Wolves just sat there.
And now McSaltyCakes just juking around for as long as he can in the Gold Fury pit. Koiz says, enough of this, I'm going to get the kill. Coviiii forced the dash away, but xCynosurex waiting for him.
Coviiii trying to get away, but like you said, xCynosurex is right there, but so is camping solo. Gonna get stunned out. Transonics gonna find the double.
And now 3 dead on the side of Kingdom, and the Gold Fury's up. returN has their choices a lot right now, but Kingdom says enough is enough. We'll take our 1 point and get out of Dodge. returN secures the top seed going into the LAN stages here in North America.
You know that has to feel good. They've done so well throughout the entire split, and now they're sitting nice and happy, 19 points, gonna be the top seed. And, I mean, you can't feel bad about dropping that game.
No, again, it didn't really matter at the end of the day for them. They just needed 1 point, and they got it, and that's all that they really care about, I'm sure. Eager still has the potential to get up to 19 points, but because returN has the head-to-head matchup record there, returN is without a doubt your #1 seed going into LAN.
Exactly, and they're looking really good. They have a really good shot. They're going to be at the top seed, and we haven't seen any changes come out from their roster. They've been completely solid all the way through.
And that's not a coincidence that one of the top 2 teams have made the least roster changes. That's not a secret. That sticking together and working together as a unit builds a better team overall. Even, you know, it's always tempting to go and say, oh, we're having some trouble here, we're having some trouble there. Let's pick up some new players. But working together as a team and finding your team identity is super important, and returN has definitely found theirs. Play around Transonics, play around Wolves, and then the occasional Clow or xCynosurex popping off like they did in that last site.
Talking about Wolves, we actually do have Wolves here in the solo lane, just kicking, punching, being an absolute nuisance. xCynosurex going to come and help out, but that's just the communication and just the downright bullying that they've done that entire game.
And you can see now that Wolves is able to push that lead overall, but let's be real here. Wolves is usually the star, and he gets a lot of credit that he deserves, but this lead that he got was all xCynosurex. That was all xCyno staying on that right side of the map and making sure he's able to get that lead because he knows that Wolves is going to make the most out of it.
Exactly, and xCynosurex, like we mentioned, on point. I think when we talked about him, he was 3-0-3. He'd already ulted like halfway across the map to get another kill as we were talking about it, but Clow also really stood out to me too.
Very comfortable on that Zhong. No surprise overall. I mean, he got killed early in lane, gave up the first blood, but then came in and made a big impact in the late game, and that's what Clow likes to do. His early game still not always the best, but once we get to that mid-late game and he's able to get some items online, get some levels, he's always there trying to make some sort of impact.
And that was his triple. He just came in, he popped the ultimate, he just kind of sat there. You know, he threw some stuff out, but the tower didn't even pay him any attention until he was running away.
Zhong's skill shots are pretty difficult, especially that ultimate.
I know that skill though, but no, very good set coming out from both teams. We have more sets coming at you here in just a second. The next up is going to be Soar versus Aware. Stay tuned, a very big game.
Champions of the night. I'm ready to